And we're back with another recipe. We're delirious over here. We are delirious, not gonna lie. And we're cleaning out our pantries and everything, trying to get through some of our food to use. And so we have these potatoes left over. We're gonna do Instant Pot garlic mashed potatoes. You need, well, I have 6 potatoes because that's what we have left and we want to use them up. But 6 is a good number. It's good for that. Also, obviously, they're garlic mashed potatoes, but we're going to use granulated garlic here. Get that at Costco. You're going to need some milk because milk will give it a nice texture, creaminess to it. Butter to give it some fats, give it some body and some substance. Salt and pepper to taste. And that's really all that's to it. It goes by fairly quick inside the Instant Pot. You're only gonna cook them for 8 minutes, but you need to do it has to get up to pressure. You're looking at about 20 minutes total and all of that. And as a side, since we're doing mashed potatoes, I am going to add in a recipe for some gravy. And so I'm gonna get started on the mashed potatoes because the gravy will be able to cook while the potatoes are gone in the Instant Pot. All right, so I'm gonna bring you in closer so you can see how the magic happens. All right, first thing you gotta do is take your potatoes and peel them. I think that's kind of obvious. So I will, my wife uses this trick. I know you have a plastic bag full of bags. So we're just gonna peel these potatoes and then cube them up. So I'm gonna just go ahead and get this part done. All right, after all the potatoes have been peeled, we're gonna cube them up and we're gonna put them in this basket. And then this basket is what we're gonna throw into the Instant Pot. We do that because sometimes there's liquid left when you're cooking the potatoes and you don't, it's easier to pull that out and drain the liquid. Now, the reason we're cubing them up is because they cook better this way. All I do them is in quarters. Some people throw the entire potato in, and that's fine, but we found that it has to cook longer and the consistency just wasn't as good. So we do prefer to cube them up. So I'm gonna cube them, and then I'll wash them in the sink. What I'm gonna do is take our lid off. I have 1 cup of water I'm pouring into the bottom here. I'm gonna take our basket of cubed, quartered potatoes, put them in. All right, and then all I'm gonna do is pressure cook these for 8 minutes. All right, we're gonna let that build up pressure, make sure this is on sealing, not what I had it on. I think I had it on venting there. Make sure it's on sealing, it'll be ready to go. And with that, we're just gonna let these cook for 8 minutes, then we'll add our milk, butter, garlic, salt, and pepper, and mix it up. All right, so these are ready to go. I've had them on here. I'm going to do the quick release here. I'm gonna try to aim it away from me. I've been letting it do a natural release, so there's not a lot left. For the past 17 minutes or so while I was working on the gravy. So let's just let that come down. And now that it's down, I'm going to take this off. I take our potatoes out. And there's not a lot of liquid left down at the bottom, but I'm gonna empty this anyway because we're gonna finish off our mashed potatoes in there. So this is extremely hot. Make sure you're using the proper gloves to take it out and dump it. Goes back in. I'm gonna go ahead and add our potatoes back in. This is hot. All right, and this is where you're gonna season it to taste. I'm gonna use about 4 tablespoons of butter in here. Butter just gives it some fats and it's nice and thick. I'm gonna add some milk, and you're adding for texture here. So I don't use a prescribed amount per se, but you probably wanna use about half a cup to start with based off of how many potatoes you have. You're gonna add some salt. Again, you're seasoning to taste. Do some garlic. These are garlic mashed potatoes. Maybe a teaspoon or 2. And some pepper. All right, I'm gonna leave all this out after I'm done using the mixer. See if it needs any more. Oh, and I don't know why that came out. All right. All right, so you gotta check them for their texture, and this is completely up to you as to how much butter or milk you'll add. So I'm gonna go ahead and give a little taste test here. Oh, that's just right. So it doesn't need anything else. I think it's spot on. Now we've made this so many times, I can tell just by eyeballing how much there is and what is needed. So I don't usually add any more than I need to. We've got some in here. So you can see how creamy they are. And it doesn't take very long in the Instant Pot. Really didn't take very much time at all. All right, for the gravy, we're gonna start off with these ingredients. I don't have an onion. I normally would put an onion here, but we're out. And like I said, we're cleaning out our pantry. So I have this organic chicken bone broth. It is low sodium. So I am gonna use some salt, pepper. We also have thyme, sage, and rosemary. If you have fresh herbs, that's even better. And then you're gonna need salt and pepper to taste, some garlic. I have here some carrots and some celery. Also, we're gonna use some flour for our roux, and I'll show you how we get all of that going. I have this heating up right now. Let me do some olive oil here. So I got this going. I'm gonna go ahead and chop up my vegetables and get these ready to go in. So I have my pan heating up here already. And what I'll do is start with a couple tablespoons of olive oil. I want to start with my garlic to begin with. And I'll do a good heaping tablespoon there. Maybe a little more. We like garlic. And I'm gonna let this start to cook until it becomes fragrant. Turn my heat up. And we're cooking this until it gets fragrant, but also we'll be straining this out when we finish off the gravy. So I'm not worried about the chunks of things. It'll be smooth. You can start to see that this is getting brown here. What you're looking for. So the garlic is fragrant. I can smell it. I'm gonna go ahead and add my vegetables in. Did 2 stalks of celery. We had these baby carrots and I'm using them for about 2 carrots or so. You could get away with 1 carrot. We just like this here. Tastes good. I'm just gonna cook these down for a bit, let them sweat. I'm gonna go ahead and add our bone broth in. I have about 2 cups here. I've used half of this for a different recipe. So I got 2 cups. I'm gonna add this in. I'm gonna go ahead and season it here. So I'm gonna add some rosemary. Some thyme. Sage. Put some pepper in. And it's time for our roux. So what I want to do for this is we need to cook the flour. And a lot of people start with their roux to start. They do flour and butter so that it can cook. But this is going to simmer and cook for a while. So here's a little trick to use for your roux when you're thickening it up is get your flour. We're gonna use a strainer like so. I'm gonna put it in the liquid and I'm gonna get just a little flour at a time and drop it in. And get it down at the bottom, and then I'm gonna use my spoon and work it in there. Actually, I'm gonna get a whisk. A whisk will be easier. You can start to see it working in. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit more. Here we go. I think that'll be plenty. So I want to get this in early so I can get it to start to thicken. And if I think it needs more at the end, I'll use cornstarch. But this should do for now. And if you put it in now, it gives it time for the flour to cook and to thicken up your gravy. And this will take a good half hour or so. Just stir it every now and then, keep an eye on it. And that's pretty much it. You're gonna let this go, and we're gonna taste it for salt at the end. We'll also add butter at the end to thicken it up, but other than that, you just let it sit. We'll salt, pepper it, and then strain it when we're done. We'll be back. All right, so we're gonna finish this off. I did add a pinch of salt because I did a taste test and it needed a little bit. If you're using bone broth or any type of broth, then you probably need to taste it for sodium. Usually that stuff's pretty salty. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of butter to this. It'll help thicken it up a little bit. It gives it just a nice little depth, and all I'm gonna do is stir this around until it melts and it's incorporated. But you can see that the gravy is thick. It's sticking to the spoon well, and that's what you're looking for. And I've had this on a low simmer for the last 20 minutes or so, and just stirring it occasionally so that it nothing burns to the bottom or anything. So all I'm gonna do at this point is strain this into this bowl. All right, that's that. And here's your gravy. So nice and simple. It's thick. All right, so there you have it. Hard to show in here, but mashed potatoes. Instant pot garlic mashed potatoes and a quick gravy to go with it, and you'll be a happy person. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a little taste test. Oh, that's really good. My daughter's jealous because she's hungry and I'm over here making this and eating it. She has to watch me eat it while I film this video. Absolutely delicious. Give it a shot, let us know what you think. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment below, and make sure you hit the bell. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you receive notifications every time we put out new content. And be sure to visit our blog, doingallthings.com/blog, for more lifestyle inspirational ideas. And thank you for watching. We will catch you all next time with another recipe, so stay tuned.